The adding machine developed out of about a 6-month search for the appropriate vehicle for us to use.
And I think it's interesting because I think when George finally chose the adding machine and he told me about it, it was interesting from the get-go, but when we started sharing the idea of this production specifically, there were people that said, why the adding machine?
But when we look into the theatrical world and the expressionistic world of the adding machine, we can create worlds that didn't exist 10, 15 years ago using media.
I don't think the show would have been nearly as good without the level of student participation that we actually got. They brought a level of professionalism and experience. Most of the students that were working on the show had completed quite a bit of their core coursework, so they weren't moving through rudiments, but were instead applying things that they had learned in previous classes. We did have, I'd say, 30% of the students who were just coming to this as their first production and their first big media project, so that was challenging, but everyone rose to the task, and I think we were all better for the efforts that the students put into the show. A lot of people talk about the production and say because of the way it's written and the way it's conceived, it's very difficult to do. And so in a lot of ways, it was open to the possibility of using media in a very creative way.
What we've discovered through our experimentation is that the more theatrical the piece, the easier it is to integrate the media and create this alternate reality. If we're going to try to do realism, if we're going to try to do a sense of slice of life, which is what realism is called, there's better ways to do it. Across the board, all these folks working together, it created a new language and a new learning experience for everybody.
We used a protocol called DVTS, which is uncompressed high-res video from the two remote locations, from the University of Central Florida in Orlando and from the University of Waterloo in Ontario. This is the first time, to my knowledge, that there have been 3 sites involved in that kind of two-way communications.
At both remote sites, a DV camera was connected through a firewire cable to a dedicated DVTS computer that streamed the video and audio to Bradley over the Internet2 fiber optic system, utilizing approximately 30 megabits of bandwidth for each DVTS signal. At times, the production required up to 120 megabits of bandwidth. At Bradley, the video and audio streams from the remote sites were received on one of 4 dedicated DVTS computers. Once converted, the signals were sent to a video data switcher that allowed an operator to seamlessly switch between the live video and pre-recorded media. This selected signal was then sent to the main computer for integration into the live performance. Using Isadora, a graphic programming interface that controls media and allows real-time manipulation, the video was keyed into the 2400 by 600 pixel image files that make up the background for the scenes on stage. This blended media was then segmented into 3 smaller files that were exported through 2 video graphic arrays to one of 3 Panasonic projectors, set up to reassemble the images on a 30-foot wide screen integrated into the scenery designed by Eric Kyle, creating the illusion of one giant image. For example, during the mausoleum scene, a graphic background of the tomb was created using Maya. Into this background, using live green screen technology, one actor performing from a remote studio on the Bradley campus was keyed into the background, while another actor performing live from the University of Waterloo, 800 miles away, appeared on screen in the same scene with him. To fill out the media, pre-recorded video of other characters in their tombs were integrated into the action, moving and interacting with 3D objects, creating an illusion of presence and realism. To allow performers in Orlando and Waterloo to connect with their scene partners at Bradley, 2 independent DVTS send systems linked with a single DV camera were set up in the Hartman Center. These systems mirrored the incoming DVTS systems, allowing a full stage video shot and audio to be relayed back to our partner institutions, completing the DVTS loop.
This is going to be one of the most ambitious projects we've ever attempted, and if I may say so, I think it's going to be one of the crowning achievements in this kind of new way of making art.
I've told people that it's very important for them to go see this production, because I think that what it represents is going to be sort of a very significant time for Bradley in moving from one traditional period of time in theater, multimedia, and the convergence of the two disciplines, for us as a way to distinguish the university to be doing high-quality theater productions, but integrating and also expanding our capabilities in multimedia.
We had tremendous support locally and on campus.
The IT infrastructure here at our university, IRT, we had incredible support from university administration in the form of grants that allowed us to hire students and get additional production resources that we needed to get the show done. We had support from our college and our dean.
Yeah, Jeff Huberman, tremendous support from Jeff.
We obviously had a huge amount of support from our internal structure here, our administrative staff, our technical staff within the college, lab managers.
Chuck Ruck from IRT, tremendous support with the Internet2 work.
Amazing amount of support. And then we also had support from industry in Peoria.
Rand Coleman from Coleman & Associates volunteered hundreds of hours helping us to fix the sound issues with DVTS and the sound issues with the theater. Iona Group?
The Iona Group out of Morton, Illinois made a substantial donation of hardware, digital switcher, and they also gave us access to some of their post-audio facilities for mastering some of the audio scenes as well.
And then we also had Les Kenyon of Kenyon Associates give a marvelous donation to the university that gave us the Mac Pro computer that we used as the brain, really, that ran the entire show. So without Les's support, the production would have suffered as well.
Right.
And on top of that, there were folks whose names that we don't even know. Right. That from across the university and across the community that really just reached out to really make sure everything happened for this production.